I was wrong about something for years, and it's a specific kind of wrong. I think a lot of us carry without examining. I assumed that loving your children unconditionally and actually knowing them were the same skill. They're not. You can do the first one perfectly and still fail, for decades, at the second. Today's story is from a woman who learned that difference at 70, when her son told her something at 45 that she'd apparently spent his whole life not quite letting him tell her. This is Sylvia, in her own words. My son Jordan came out to me on a Sunday afternoon at my kitchen table at 45 years old, and the first thing I felt, before love, before anything decent, was a hot flash of grief for 30 years of birthday parties and holidays where he'd apparently been managing, carefully, exactly how much of himself was safe to bring into my house. That grief wasn't for me, and I had to sit with it before I could be any use to him at all. I didn't say anything wrong in the moment. I said I loved him, which is true, and always has been. But afterward, alone, I realized how much of my acceptance over the years had actually been a kind of careful, unspoken non-asking, never inquiring too closely about a college roommate, a close friend, a life I'd apparently decided not to look at directly. Jordan later told me gently that it had mostly felt like being tolerated rather than known. There's research out of the Family Acceptance Project that I read obsessively that first month, and one finding stopped me cold. LGBTQ young people whose families respond with explicit, active acceptance, not just an absence of rejection, have dramatically better long-term mental health outcomes than those whose families are simply neutral or quietly permissive. Neutral isn't neutral. I had spent 30 years being neutral and calling it love, and they're not actually the same thing. So I started doing the unglamorous, deliberate work of active instead of passive. I asked Jordan directly about his partner, David, by name, in ordinary conversation. I went to David's birthday dinner and stayed the whole time, not the polite 90 minutes I'd have managed a year earlier. I told Jordan out loud, in words, "I'm proud of who you are, not just tolerant of it." A sentence I made myself say because I suspected correctly that I'd never once said anything like it in 45 years. Jordan cried the first time I said it. So did I, which surprised me more. We're not fully caught up on 30 years of careful non-asking, but you stop adding to the debt. David comes to Sunday dinner now. I ask questions I used to root around. And Jordan told me last month, almost offhand, that I feel less like someone he's managing and more like someone he actually knows. At 70, from my own son, that might be the best review I've ever gotten.